So we back. We are back. So I am trying to water some things that I planted. Um, without tearing stuff up. Let's see. I'm using Little Big Girl Farmer's watering can. I hate that I feel like I have to replace watering cans so much around here. They bust easy, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, let me see if I can get myself together. Here. Come on in. Um, It's a Little Big Girl Farmer's watering can. She gave me permission to use it, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm just watering in some tomatoes. I had some tomatoes that I planted on March the 11th. So I need to water them again. It's been a couple days, probably like two or 3 days since I've been in the greenhouse. So I'm just making sure everything has a good watering. It is warm out here today. Hunty, when I tell you. But that's good. That's all good. The hubby, so I'm not trucking a bunch of water. He filled up a 5-gallon bucket for me. So it's right here next to the door. I'm just refilling it with Little Big Girl Farmer's watering can, so I don't have to pick up too much weight in these streets. Whoop! Got my little thermometer wet. Come on in, y'all. I know some of y'all was hanging out with me earlier. Thank you for hanging out. I'm back in the greenhouse about an hour before I have a meeting with this group called the Citizens Coalition for Land Development Reform. And so we just talk about our city right now is going through, if y'all haven't been following, our city is going through a land development code reform process right now in the name of racial equity. Personally, my opinion, okay, is that it has nothing to do with racial equity. But anyway, it has everything about to do with appeasing. Unfortunately, I just feel like appeasing developers and their equity, not necessarily the neighborhood or the community's equity. So anyway, yes, I'm back. Took a little break. I had to go eat. You know, I had to go do that. And the phone gave phone time to charge. So we had 100% capacity right now. So I'm just out here watering and stuff that I need to get watered in. And so I planted off camera. I planted some Tiny Tim tomatoes that I will be selling as well this year. And the Tiny Tim tomato is really good for people that have small spaces or not a lot of garden space because it's like a compact cherry tomato plant. Great for 5-gallon buckets. And so I love my small growers, my beginner growers. It's good for anybody, but I'm just saying, you know, if you're concerned about space, the Tiny Tim tomato is a really good variety to consider. Okay, because the plant is small, a lot smaller than, it's a determinate tomato, which means that it's determined, this is how I remember it, it's determined to set fruit and die. Okay, so the plant doesn't get that big, but it sets a lot of fruit and then it dies off. indeterminate tomatoes, they're indeterminate. They can't determine, or they can't make up their minds. They just keep growing, fruiting, right? So usually the frost kills them, you kill them, you know, disease kills the plant, whatever, before it's done. So that's how I remember the difference between determinate and indeterminate tomatoes. Hope that was helpful. It may help you, may not, I don't know. But that's how I remember. So the Tiny Tim tomato is a determinate tomato. Again, it will set fruit. The plant doesn't get that big, maybe about 18 inches tall, and sets fruit and dies. Okay. But it doesn't like happen like within 30 days or something. You know, it just that's just what it's designed to do. Set fruit, a bunch of fruits, usually cherry type tomatoes, maybe a little bigger, and then it eventually throws up peace time. Okay, let's see. I need to go over here and water these brassicas. So let me mosey this way. Uh-oh. This table be catching me, y'all, all the time. Okay. Not a lot of space in here because this table's so big. But it was donated, so I'm very grateful for that. Somebody gave it to me for $3.99. So I'm not complaining. Not complaining at all. Hey, what's going on, Lazy Liz? I love that name. Love that name. Hey, Christy. What's going on, Growing? You back? Yes. Driving, so I'll be in and out. Okay, DD. What do the tomatoes taste like on the Tiny Tim? Never had them. Never had the Tiny Tim. I grew... Wait a minute. Was that the Tiny Tim I grew last season in the house? Hold on, let me think. I grew it in the house and... Yeah. It tastes like a regular red tomato. To me... Oh my gosh. To me... Ooh, this lets me see how sturdy this greenhouse is while I'm out here. I haven't had any problems, praise the Lord, and knock on wood, with this greenhouse since I put it up last fall. Like it blowing away or tipping over or anything like that. Nothing like that. The guys that put it in for me did a great job. And I did a lot of research about stabilizing it. And so I just used cinder blocks, and we've got it tied all kinds of sorts of ways to that. And it seems to be holding up really well. So I'm proud. I'm happy of that. But yeah, I think it just tastes like a regular tomato. Just a regular tomato. More acidic than sweet. But Little Big Gar Farmer loved them. I think we had like 4 or 5 that grew on the plant. I went through with that plant, y'all, in the house. It was something else. Yeah, it went well. Better than expected. I was experimenting with some stuff, and but yeah, that's it. It just sets fruit and it's done. So the Tiny Tim tomato, check it out. Let me see. I got a seed pack somewhere. Somewheres. Let's see. Here it go. Tiny Tim tomato. And yes, I don't shop all my seeds at migardener.com, and I'm not being like sponsored by him or anything like that. I'm just telling you what I'm telling you, okay? But I do buy from him. His seed pack price, what used to be 99 cents, and now went up to $1 or something like that, and it went up to $2. But I mean, good amount of seeds, I'll be honest. I didn't have him pouring this water out. I didn't have any problems with him as far as germination and stuff. Now I've heard other people have had problems with the seed, but that's not him. That's whoever he got the seed from, you know. Because I don't think they grow all they seeds. They just a broker, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, but anywho, I've had a good experience with their website. I did have to contact customer service like once or twice just to follow up about some stuff, but other than that, I haven't had any problems buying from them. And you get a fair amount of seed for $2. So, and these again, a lot of them are rare seed, or not rare, but stuff you don't typically see in the store. So a lot of heirlooms, if you're interested in heirloom varieties, a lot of hybrids, and so I just want something different. I love to grow things that I've never seen before. I love color, so I'm open to heirlooms or hybrids. Hybrids can become an heirloom over time. That's how heirlooms get their name or their designation or whatever you want to call it. The seed has been passed down from generation to generation for so many years. It becomes an heirloom seed. So I'm not really hooked, or the fact that it's an heirloom or hybrid doesn't bother me. But I don't know why, but I do have a slight hesitation about hybrids sometimes, because hybrids can be created in the lab, or they can be created in nature on their own, right? So like when you cross pollinate things, you have one pepper, a purple pepper here, orange pepper there, and they make another type of pepper, right? And the bees had something to do with that. So if you put a bunch of different varieties together, close together, there's a chance that you can cross pollinate and create different strands or breeds or whatever you want to call it of seed. And so it can happen naturally or in a lab. So it don't really bother me that much, but it does have me wondering sometimes. Hold on, I see y'all posting in the chat. Whew, let's see. Hey Steve, thank you for being here. Good to see you. You're so welcome, Lazy Liz. I just love that. That's great. I probably asked this, but what zone are you in? I'm in zone 6B, 7A. Like every year that I've grown up until now, we were identified as being in zone 6B. Now, if you Google Louisville, Kentucky, it says 7A. So, and gosh, that's climate change. That's heat island index issues. That's, we can talk about that all day. There's all kinds of different things. Zones just change for your area sometime. Let me sit down, take a break. Oh. Let's see, I'm growing. Steve says, how's your Olympian fig? Oh, my figs, yes. So my figs are great. They are, I had them outside most of the winter. I was like, listen, if they die, they die. It's okay. I was like, let me calm down, Around August is when I found out that I was expecting a baby, but I didn't know what it was for a long time. From August to October, I was really ill. Okay. I couldn't get myself together, really. November was a little better, but not much better. December is when things started to kind of, I was like, okay, there's hope in the world. And so a lot of my work that I usually get done in the fall, I didn't get done, right? And one of those things was winterizing the fig trees, because last year I put them in the shed, but I insulated them with leaves and burlap, wrapped them in burlap, did this whole thing. I did a video on it. If you want to go to the playlist called Figs, and excuse me, Sorry, y'all. But this year I didn't do none of that. Like I was just like, okay, Lord, whatever it'll be. And if it doesn't work out, I'll just get more. It's okay. But I really, y'all know I named my figs, right? So the Olympian fig, his name is Fred. And then I have a white Marseille that I named Mr. Ellis. And then I have a Chicago Hardy that's called Lil Buddy. Because he was the squirt of the group. He's the youngest. He was a little twig when I bought him at Lowe's or something, wherever I got him. Let's see, Lil Buddy. Yeah, that's the three. So I have 3 figs, and they right over here. Y'all see them in them buckets right there? In those 3 yellow buckets. There's a 4th one, but that's a grapevine. There was a grapevine in the Lowe's clearance section for like $4, and I went ahead and grabbed it. It looked dead, but honey, it came straight back to life. I don't know if it's alive right now. I haven't checked on it, but they there. Yep, right there. And then there's a peach tree that was on clearance for like $7 or something. I don't know, something under $10 that looked dead. But I went ahead and bought it, and it's alive because I just used my nail to scratch the bark, and it was green. It just needs some love. Okay. And then so my trees, all my citrus are gone. I sold my citrus. I had them for 1 season, and then I let them go. I was sad, but we're gonna try again with the Meyer lemon later on. And then I have let's see if I can get her on camera. Right there is an apple tree. That's a Honeycrisp apple tree. And then I have another Honeycrisp right. You can't see it because of the actually no, it's right, it's in that green. This is so weird trying to point. It's in that green 17 gallon tub. Let me see, right there. That's a Honeycrisp apple tree. And then I have in a pot right right there is a raspberry. Yeah, that's a raspberry bush. And the canes dropped over into my tires that are on the other side of that fence. So I just left it alone. I don't know if they rooted or not, but the canes did fall over in there. So I just left them alone. They were tight when I tried to pull them out, so I think they have roots. But we'll see if they sprout, if they leaf out or whatever. And if they don't, then I'll move them. But I didn't want to move them. So that's all the fruit trees I have. Now, you can go crazy with some fruit trees. Like, it is so addictive, right? And so this season, well, in the fall, my plan, I have like thornless blackberry bushes planted on the side where I usually keep the okra. In the shed, I put the thornless blackberries there. I don't know if I want them to stay there, but that's where they're going to be for this season. But somebody gave me those. It was like 10 canes. But in the fall, my plan was to go ahead and buy 10 of each fruit. So I wanted 10 raspberry, 10 blueberry, 10 blackberry, and I wanted to get 5 more peach trees, and our 2 peach trees, 2 pear trees, and like a couple more grapevines. I think I wanted 3 more grapevines, because I was ready to do my like fruit tree, fruit bush, orchard, small little micro orchard shindig. Got sick, honey. I couldn't handle it, so I didn't get all that in. But my plan is to have some thornless blackberry bushes and some strawberry plants for sale as well in my nursery. But that's because people have helped me with that. And so I didn't have to do everything. Yeah, there's a little honeybee. Hi, little bee. I've seen 1 or 2 around. That excites me. I'm glad. I'm so glad. But yeah. But the figs are doing great. Thank you for asking. Let's see. I'm growing the Mexican midget dwarf tomato. Okay. It's doing really well inside. I'm going to also grow it outside on my balcony. I've never heard of that. The Mexican midget dwarf tomato. I wonder why they called it a midget. Like that term is just not acceptable anymore. But yeah, I get it. That's kind of dope. I like that. This summer I'm gonna grow. Last summer I did not. The year before I did. I grew the Mexican sour gherkin, which is also known as the cucamelon. Oh my gosh, y'all, they're the cutest little. They look like little watermelons, but they taste like they have like a hint of lime or lemon. And they taste like a cucumber, really. But I was like, they are so dope. Little Big Girl Farmer loved them. We couldn't even get them in the house. Like she was tripping, for real. Like she would just go out here and pick them and eat them. Hey, Miss Angela. And so yeah, thank you, Steve. I'm excited about that. So I'm gonna have those growing on the trellis in the front of the greenhouse, I do believe. And let's see. Okay, growing. It grows about 2 to 3 feet tall. See, that's a really nice little. It's a little bit bigger than the Tiny Tim then, but it's still a nice little compact tomato. You know, if you grow on a balcony or a deck or a little front porch, or you know, or you just want to start small, your garden small, those are great varieties to pick from. Yeah, those little compact tomatoes. I'm glad I put my little thing back on. It's windy and it's chilly a little bit. But yeah, so yeah, that sounds good. What you doing, big man? Look at him back there. He's supposed to, I thought he was in class. That's the hubby, y'all. That's my Superman. That's my superhero right there. He hates that. He feels like it puts a lot of pressure on him, but I can't help it. I gotta call it like I see it. I gotta call it like I see it, my little sweetheart. Man, I'm telling you, this pandemic, and I mean, I was already grateful for my husband and just, you know, everything that he does for us, but being in this pandemic and then being pregnant in the pandemic, y'all, when I tell you some things have changed in this house, for the better, right? But still, it's just it's a lot. I'm so grateful. I'm just so grateful for what I have. I'm just so grateful and pray that the things that are unseen just are stay away, right? Like that we can just be protected, or continue to be protected from all this craziness. And so yeah, but I was showing y'all these seedlings, whatnot. I got off track. I'm sorry. Oh, I needed to take a break. That's what it was. I needed to sit down. Yeah, I have to do that often, more than before, of course, you know, because I'm so far along. But I just have to, my back, y'all, and I have a little support belt thing, but I don't feel like it'd be doing much for me here lately. So I just got to take some little breaks. Yep. Let's see. So you're talking about that Mexican dwarf tomato. Let's see. It's technically indeterminate, so that's probably why it gets so big. For dwarf. Yeah. Okay. Got it. But that's what's up. What are some other different varieties that y'all are growing this year of tomatoes? Everybody always talks about tomatoes. It's like 95% of the world loves tomatoes. Every time I mention gardening, everybody's like, ooh, I would love some fresh tomatoes. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I loved tomatoes like that. I mean, y'all know I like my black cherry tomato, and the sun gold tomato, that's number 2 on the list. Yep, as far as cherry tomatoes go, I would prefer those 2 to always be in my garden. Yeah. But I'm going to have the red cherry tomato for sale. You know, some things, just a few crops that people are like, okay, this look, but not too much, because you can go to Lowe's and get that stuff. I don't know. Again, it's what I like. I'm trying to brand my nursery just a bit, growing rare or mostly rare varieties of crops. So I have the red mustard, giant red mustard green. I have the, I have regular mustards too. That purple maroonish color from that red mustard green is so beautiful to me. Red okra, Star David okra, Clemson spineless okra. I will start all that next month. I won't start that this month. I'll start it next month, because your beans and stuff like that. I have the cowpea. I don't eat cowpeas, but I have those requested, so I have tons of seeds for those, and so I'll start some plants and then grow some, because I just have a friend that wants a bed full, okay, of cowpeas, and I said, well, that's partly the reason why I added so many different so many beds. And then I have different types of kale. So I have the dwarf curly kale. I have the dinosaur kale. I have purple kale. I think it's what it's called. Different types of Swiss chard. I'm trying to think of all these things. Cubanelle pepper, purple jalapeno, California Wonder, lunchbox pepper. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Whew, this is good for me though, because my memory has been horrible lately. Let's see. The other one is a cream sausage. I think that one is determinate. A yellow small tomato. A small yellow tomato called a cream sausage. That just don't. Hi, Melinda. The yellow pear tomato. Now I do know that one, and I have seeds for that. Maybe I should sell the rest of those seeds too. I don't have a lot left. Maybe like 10. But I can sell those too. I have so many seeds, y'all. It's just you know how you make a list and you make up your mind about what you're gonna do, and then you just like get out here and act like you don't have no sense, and you just sow whatever you can sow or do whatever you can do. Yeah, you have to show that one to me, because I don't know what I might have to Google a cream sausage. That does not sound good to me at all. What is that? I wonder what the story is behind it. I had the cream sausage tomato. That is so odd. That is so odd. Let's see. Yeah, you gonna have to show me, because I don't know about it. I don't know about it. Okay, let me get myself up. What is this? Y'all, this is growing everywhere. And I don't know if it's clover. I don't know where it is, but it's everywhere. What is that? Can y'all see that? What is that? It's everywhere. It was in my in some of my buckets. It was like somebody has spread seed everywhere, and maybe it's a weed. You think it's a weed? Okay. Miss Angel says, I just planted some Ethiopian kale and kalalu. Never heard of that. Winter greens have already bolted here in Florida. Ah, don't you hate that? I hate that. I'm sorry. I don't know what the name of this is, but it's everywhere. It's not clover. What am I talking about? I know what clover looks like. It's my crazy mind, y'all. See, that's what I'm hoping it's not. Mint. I hope it's not mint. I just don't need that in my life, but I feel like I'm seeing more of it this year than last year. It might be, but I hope it's not. I do have volunteer parsley already and cilantro, but I'm okay with that. I can dig that up. I mean, you can dig the mint up too, but you're probably, if you don't get the root, then you're just going to be digging all your life. Okay, it's like spinach. That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, let me get up and go. over here. I really want to get serious about this worm farm, y'all. I've tried to start one a couple times. But I want like a designated spot instead of like I can go pull a handful out and put them in a bag for somebody if I need to. You know what I'm saying? Like I want it to be a little bit more accessible, intentional. I have a friend that has red wigglers, and she just be growing these worms just for fun. But I'm like, so I have supplies if I need to get started. She'll help me. She's giving me a bit. Gosh, here I am again. I'm hung up. Hold on. Yeah, my butt getting hung up. Let me see. Okay. Let me see if I can turn this around. This big old trunk of mine. Let's see. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see me, but yeah. So she said she would help me get started if I needed her to. And I'm always thinking about how to make money, but worms is just one of those things like you need to have, the worms in your garden. It lets you know that your soil is healthy. They can help make your soil healthy. It's just a good thing to do. It's just a good thing to do. I got some scarlet kale. That's what it's called. It's purple, but it's called scarlet kale. Then I have my Napa cabbage. I still got to sow my purple pak choi. I'm excited about that. Purple pak choi. A friend named the Garden Mac from the middle of the map gave me those seeds. So thank you, Garden Mac. I'm hung up again, y'all. Y'all gonna be like, when's she gonna stop walking past that spot? I know it. I might have to go in from the other side. Coming in from the other side, yeah. My bucket and got a little lighter, so I can carry it. Okay. But yeah, so see, got some sage. I had a lot of people requesting sage last year. More and more people are burning sage in their homes and things. That's cool. I ain't got no whatever you want to do. So I'm gonna try to grow a bunch of sage this year. I already had some plants that overwintered, so hopefully they'll sprout out real big and pretty for me. Yep. Got some lemon balm, some red Russian kale. I got some cauliflower, some broccoli. It's kind of like broccolini, so it's a little bit different than the big head of broccoli. Have y'all ever grew broccolini? This will be my first year, but it's sprouted. It's here. These got trays in the bottom, so I think I'm gonna not overhand. These others haven't sprouted yet, but I got about 15 trays full of those 72 pack sales, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a pour them from the bottom instead of overhead watering. Whew. Let me sit down again, y'all. Okay. What's going on? Let me see. Okay. But yeah, I got a lot of curly kill. I got a lot of marigolds because y'all know I'm like filling some orders already. So I have 2 big orders. One for 700 plants. It's like 700 and around 700. And one for 2,000. So a lot of these plants are already bought, right? They're already bought. And of course I drop multiple seeds in each sale. Even in the 72 sale, I very rarely do one seed. Brassicas, you know, the seeds are so small. Brassicas are your kales, all your green stuff, pretty much. And so you know, you drop to 3, you can drop 4 at a time and not even know it, you know. So they're gonna get a little bit more than 2,000 plants, but I should be able to fill that order. And then and they didn't order all greens, but greens are very easy to sow. They sprout really very nicely. And usually, you know, the germination rate is very, very good. And then they ordered tomatoes, you know, but they're more of the basic traditional varieties. All these other different varieties are just in my nursery that I will sell from my nursery to the public that pre-orders. And I'm gonna try to do all pre-order too, because I want to reduce the number one, my business is at my house, okay? Number 2, I just want to keep that under control. So I don't want a lot of people just coming and walking up to the nursery and walking through and touching a lot of stuff, right? So because of COVID, I need to take certain precautions, and then being pregnant on top of that, and then eventually having this baby, you know, I just kind of want to monitor and control as much of that as possible. So pre-order seems to be the best route to go for me as far as e-commerce is concerned, and the traffic and having everybody here. So I'm gonna have pictures on the website. You'll see the pictures at maturity, the plant when it's mature, so you can decide whether or not you want it. And so that's the kind of that's my ideal situation, right? And so when you order, I will have your order ready for pickup. You pick up by appointment. And so that way I can monitor baby and do what I got to do, because dad will eventually be going back to the classroom. Okay. In our county, they are just now, letting teachers back into school, the kids going back to school. I'm not 100% excited about that myself. But anyway, those are my opinions about that. We don't have to get into the kids going back to school. Yeah, marigolds. I used to think marigolds was like an old people flower. I'm just being honest, but like they really do serve a purpose in the garden. You know, some people say, hey, my experience is marigolds don't help at all with pests. Some people say, I feel like more pests come because the more marigolds I have. But some people say they really help with my tomatoes, and they have not failed me yet. So I don't know. Thank you so much. Yeah, they're large, and I can't take too many more of those large orders, but I'm you know, you gotta start slow and see what you can do. And I'm really nervous about it, actually, but you know, I definitely want to just being my first time, and then like not really knowing what's gonna happen with this baby, and just working everything, you know, just working everything out, you know, just trying to figure everything out and the flow of everything. But I just, you know, like anything else, you just have to go with the flow and kind of learn from your experience. And the folks that I'm growing for are very, very supportive and very aware, and they're just great people. So it's not going to be like Letitia failed us and we never want to talk to her again, But I want to be able to do this more and more and more in the future. I love direct sales. I love meeting my clients and building relationships. And I call them clients, but but I just really feel like I just love meeting people. I love meeting new people. And when you're excited about growing food, like, I want to know who you are. We need to talk, right? And or you're excited, you're ready to get started, you've never done it before. I want to know who you are, because we need to talk. You haven't done it in 5-10 years. I need to know who you are, so we can talk. So I just be very grateful for the opportunity to meet people and to hear their stories in regards to food and growing food, and why they want to do it, because everybody has a different reason. But it's really about, the most common things I hear are, I just want to learn a new skill set. We need to learn new skill sets. I'm open to learning pretty much anything. If I don't grow healthy food for my family, who will? And the other thing is, like, we're too dependent on the systems that be. And we need to learn how to do this stuff ourselves, like that empowerment piece. I want to empower myself and my family. So we, if something happens, then we know what to do, right? We have the skills to be able to at least grow the food if we have the seed. So, and I'm down for whatever, I think that's great. Anything that motivates you to grow yourselves, grow your food, is a win, Lazy Liz says, I just want to have fun in the garden and eat some new veggies. I know, right? And girl, we can get on this topic of why garden, because I'm just glad I did it. I never thought, like, growing up on a farm and being around the farm and just seeing how hard my grandparents work, and hearing the stories from my mom and her siblings, and I never thought I would be anywhere interested in growing food. But it has just hooked me. I'm hooked. Yeah, I'm fit to be tied, honey. Wrapped up and tied up in growing this food. And then, trying to get it to people that want to grow too, or don't have the means to grow, or need more food. And, right now I'm in a food desert. We've talked about these terms before, on my channel, a food apartheid, being in a food desert, all these things, and it's just hitting home. And I feel like, gosh, I got to do something instead of crying about it and getting mad about it. I'm a crier, so if I'm upset, I cry. If I'm happy, I cry. But if I'm sad, I'm cry. If I'm, just whatever emotion, I can be excited and cry. Like, it just, this is how I am. But I usually do that because I feel so helpless a lot of the times, especially when I'm sad, and what can you do? And so I was like, you know what, no more. I'm going to stop pouting about it, and I'm just going to pray and ask, that I just lead me and guide me and help me figure out what to do. What can I do? What do I have control over? Or not control, but like, what can I do? Just give me the ideas. And I've had the idea of Barefruit and Grow for a long time. I was scared, right? The pandemic started business during the pandemic. Who does that? I did, right? And other people have done it too. And I think it's great. I think you should go for it. And I'm just tired of holding back all these thoughts and feelings and things that I want to do. And it's always about helping people and serving people. And yes, I'm a stay-at-home mom. So I have some gigs to make some money, but so I'm always thinking of that, because I have to live and eat too. But this is really about getting the community to invest in something that will pay them forward, right? Like, this will help you too, because so many people say they need it. There's a need for food. There's a need for access to fresh vegetables and produce and all this other stuff. Liquor stores, gas stations, Dollar Trees, Dollar Generals, Family Dollars, not knocking them. I shop at them, but you can't get everything at those stores, right? Especially a cucumber or a head of lettuce. Like, you know, where they do that at, you know? And so like we need nourishment. We need nourishment, and that's where you get your nourishment. Eating chips and stuff is cool every once in a while, but we got to do better. And so, you know, my weight loss journey has been a part of this experience as well. Growing food, fresh fruits and vegetables, isn't going to make you drop weight all of a sudden, right? You got to eat them. You have to grow what you eat. You have to be mindful of what you're eating. You have to exercise, all these things. So I had lost almost 50 pounds before I found out I was pregnant. And my body has changed once again, but that doesn't mean I can't get back on the bandwagon. Like, it's a conscious decision. You have to make a decision every day, like, of what is important to you. So I'm trying to get more healthy, trying to create healthy habits, healthy behaviors, things that I can teach my daughter. I'm trying to teach her how to grow. Y'all know she can grow. She can harvest. She identifies herbs. She knows what a tomato plant is. She's doing really well learning. She's actually better than me, I feel. But you know, we have to make a conscious decision every day to do what we think is best for our families. So she said, don't plant in the cold. But anyway, you know, this is just some of the things on my mind, why I do what I'm doing, you know. Yeah, it sucks to be in a food desert. It really does. Like, why do I have to drive 5 to 10 miles away just to get to a grocery store with some fresh produce and potatoes and you know, strawberries. Why do I have to drive that far? It's stupid. They just closed the Save-A-Lot. Was the last grocery store. It was the last grocery store in our community, and they put a Dollar Tree in place of that Save-A-Lot. Close the Save-A-Lot, put a Dollar Tree there. So I'm just. So anyway, and one of the things I'm doing, not only do I have a business that reflects what my morals are and my desires for our community, for my family, I also am reaching out to city officials. So, you know, trying to be a part of the process of policy change and all that. And everybody's not going to do that. I'm not saying you have to do that. I never thought I would be doing any of this stuff, right? It's just things have been crossing me in my path. And it's like, it just happens. It's happening. I'm meeting people. All of a sudden I'm in a conversation I didn't think I would ever be in or didn't know I was coming into. And I'm glad it's happening, you know. I'm not in one now, but I grew up in a serious food desert. Okay, Lazy Liz. Right, that's all processed. We need fresh veggies. We do. And so, you know, anyway. You know, my house and my parking, my driveway, and this area where I'm growing food right now, all of it sits on less than a quarter of an acre. It's 0.22 acres, right? So this is an urban area, highly residential. And you know, I'm just like, gosh, there's too many grass yards around here. Like, what if I could get 100 people from my area to grow food for the first time, or start growing food again? How dope would that be, to not be the only house on my street? I'm the only house on my street that looks like I do. Okay, the only one with the greenhouse, on the garden, front yard, that grow, you know, or grow food. I have met a few neighbors that have backyard gardens, and there's some down the street, but on my street I'm the only one. But they want to come and grab my green tomatoes, and you know, all these other, and that's fine. I want them to have it. The okra, I have like 3 neighbors that love okra, and I always grow more okra than I can eat, so I don't mind sharing, you know. But that's what it's about to me. I love that. I love that they can come and get fresh food right down the street, you know, from me. So yeah, Anybody here a part of a farmer's market, or has started a farmer's market, or has sold at a farmer's market? Anybody here a part of a community garden? I know DD is, but I want to have more conversations about those things too, because I was recently engaged. I stumbled across a grant opportunity. We can get money to expand a community garden, revitalize one that's in our neighborhood. Other than that one community garden, we don't have any other community gardens. We don't have any other high tunnels, places where people can grow if they don't have the space at their home, like nothing. So I'm, working with city council member right now to make that happen. And that's exciting. But I've never managed a community garden before. We do have resources, and I do have the hookup. Okay, so if I need that one-on-one coaching on how to do it, and everything that I need, I have. Right? I just wonder what your experiences have been. And so I have somebody else working with me though. Like, I'm not going to manage the garden, but I'm working with him to get the funding in place and get the program going. And then the farmers market though, I might be more engaged in that, because I started recruiting for that farmers market last year, right before COVID happened. And then the guy that was running it, he's older, but I think just one thing led to another, and it just didn't work out. So I'm in the process of promoting that again. So we are talking to the city council about that and getting that going again. Got some ideas about how I want to kick it off. So I'm excited about that. But if y'all have any ideas about how I could kick off that farmers market again, that would be great. People are out. It's warm. People are out on these motorcycles and go-karts. Y'all, honey, having a good old time. Let's see what y'all saying. It is not okay for them to steal your farm fresh food. They can contribute, and then it would be okay. Oh, no. They're not stealing. Nobody has stole from me that I know of. I feel like sometimes, I think it's more the animals stealing than the people. But no, I think everybody in my neighborhood is very respectful. And I used to be worried, not so much about the stealing, but like, if people would just like complain to the city about my mess. But nobody has done that. Everybody is more interested in what I'm doing, instead of like, oh my gosh, it looks like she's got all these beds and all these, like, what is she doing, like causing a ruckus about it. So I haven't had anybody to complain. Hey, FR, Growing with Donnie says that's something I mention all the time, showing people that it's possible to grow their own food and showing them that it's possible no matter how much space they have. Yes, that's true. I have to shove off. Glad to see you again too. Thank you so much for coming back. But yeah, so I just want to look. There's another bee. I'm excited. No, maybe it's the same one. But I'm gonna have to get them fungus. I ordered them yellow sticky things. You can make them too. Just get you some yellow construction paper or some yellow cardboard, tear it up, whatever you want to do. Put something sticky on the outside. You can put Vaseline, you can put honey, you can put glue. It's like a glue. I forget the name of it. You don't have to buy these little sticky traps. You can make them yourself if you want to do that. But anyway, I bought some because y'all, the money that I have to run my business right now, the seed money that I have, all came from the community. I've done things on my own, right, as much as I can do, but the majority of it, the community has given me, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm going to do a video very, very soon about everything that I've purchased because the community support in my business, in my vision, and I'm excited to show y'all. Like, gosh, if it wasn't for the people supporting the people, and just believing in us, I wouldn't be able to. I would have done it, but it would have taken me a longer time, But right now it's just about building infrastructure, and I'm still in the pursuit of looking for land. I have never stopped looking for land. It's just we haven't found a spot. We haven't found one. There's plenty of parcels. I want to be as close to the urban in the city as possible. I don't really want to be in rural metro, but And there are a lot more opportunities in the suburbs and in rural metro, but I would prefer to be in the city because I just want the city to reclaim their spaces. I really do. Like this bogus idea that we have to have green grass and the perfect yard and all these other things that doesn't matter. We can't eat the grass, you know, we just can't. Like, I don't understand why it's so important for everybody to have beautiful yards and like grass. You know what I'm saying? We spend so much money on seeding grass. Like, for what? The grass doesn't even feed, you know, most really the critters. You know, they're looking for organic matter to feed on, and you know, so the clover and the wildflowers and the native plants and things like that is what we need to be focused on, not just grass. You know, I don't know. Anyway, that's me yapping. Hey VA, what's going on? Peace to you. A super cheap white wine instead of vinegar also has been working in addition to my sticky traps. Oh, white wine. Okay. I didn't know that. I've never heard white wine before. We're making sticky traps. So thanks for sharing that. But yeah, so I'm just yapping, y'all. Just yapping, taking a break. I've watered most of the greenhouse plants. I need to get them finished before I go in for this meeting at 5:30. So at 5:30, I'm meeting with this group called the Citizens Coalition for Land Development Code Reform. And basically, we're just trying to hear stories about our people, you know, the people in the city that have had issues with land development code, lack of enforcement, citations, you know, just those stories about developers developing in their neighborhoods and it's not what the neighborhood wants. Here we have a lot of neighborhoods, different types of neighborhoods in different areas, and each neighborhood mostly has like a neighborhood plan, and sometimes those plans are not even considered by the city, even though that's what they're supposed to be for. You know, I feel like the neighborhood people that want to engage and want to raise families where they live, want to live where they live and live happy lives, safe lives, whatever they want out of their neighborhood, they should be able to have that. Like, our love for our neighborhoods, what it looks like, the history behind it, all that, like, you know, people really do embrace it, and they want to be able to express that, be a part of something, a story like that, you know what I'm saying? And then when you have people come in and completely demolish the character of a neighborhood, and uproot you, because I mean, you may have to leave your house, you may have to vacate the premises, you may be able to have to sell your land, your property, because of a developer coming in and building something that you feel the neighborhood doesn't even need. You know, people should at least have a voice. That's all I'm saying. And the city, I feel like, works for us. We should be able to tell them, you know, like, hey, please consider otherwise, because, you know, long term, is this really, really, really what we need in our community? Not is it what can get us a few dollars. And sometimes, you know, you just have to bark a little louder. So the citizens group is not appointed by the city at all. We just came together. I was kind of dropped in there. They were together before I came in, but it's growing. The coalition is growing, and we're just trying to get everybody together so we can mobilize, and hopefully the city can hear the people. That's all we want. So yep, we pay taxes and still get railroaded, and it feels that way. It feels like we do everything that we're supposed to do, or most of us try to, at least. You know what I'm saying? Everybody really wants peace in their life. I really don't feel like people want a bunch of drama and stuff, but it's just what we do. But we want to live and be free, and, you know, just grow our families, and it's like, gosh, when you try to do everything right, sometimes it just feels like, you know, things are just against you. And so anyway, You know, why tear down the historic building? Why? Why? To do what? Another parking lot? Do we really need another parking lot? You know, it just, for what? You said, let's see. FR says, excited for the work you are doing. Thank you. I'm excited too. Like, I really am. That's all we want, just to be free, to live in peace. Yes. And I feel like, you know, I don't have a criminal record. I'm just saying what I'm saying, y'all. Please hear what I'm saying, okay? I have a young family, college degree. I got married. I'm trying to keep my marriage, healthy. I'm trying to live healthy. I'm trying to be honorable. I'm trying to be honest and serve my community. I'm trying to do all these things that are supposed to be right, you know? And it's like, good grief. Like, you're citing me for tall grass? Well, did you think about whether or not the bees needed that grass? Like, or the butterfly? You know, you didn't even ask me why the grass is tall. You know, I don't cut my grass as often as everybody else. Now, I've never been cited. I've had a warning before from the city, but I've never been cited to pay money out. There are people in other parts of town that literally keep getting cited over and over and over for native tall grasses. And so then now we can get in the discussion about environmental justice, right? And that's something I've never been, even it has been on my radar, but the more I think about it, farmers, y'all, farmers and growers and gardeners, we are scientists, we are therapists, we are motivational speakers, we are environmentalists, we are, all these things. It's like I'm learning. I'm just like, dang, you can't almost help it. If you love to grow food and love to garden, you eventually pay attention to all these things, So anyway, it all works together. It all works together. And it's just, we need to work together to make it work together. You can't keep tearing down buildings and building new buildings and parking lots and taking all the trees out. You can't do that. What we're going that's why our air pollution is so high. Daddy is flipping her up and down. She's loving it. But anyway, y'all, I need to get off of here because I do have this meeting at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's coming up. So let me get in here, finish water, and then get in this house and sit down so I can pay attention to what's going on. But thank you all so much for joining me again. We absolutely don't need another parking lot. I'm in, what is that, Wyoming? Sorry. And let me tell you, all the development here has been so pointless. Tearing down beautiful houses and building 6 to 8 condos onto one tiny lot. They're compacting. They're trying to get as many houses, and that's another, some of the recommendations for the reform again has nothing to do with equity. It has everything to do with getting money. So Washington, thank you. I knew that. I swear I knew that. But it has everything to do with making money, and making money is cool, but at what cost, y'all? At what cost, And it's like, gosh, the homes in some of these neighborhoods. That's why I wanted a corner lot. Our backyard is like this big. Y'all seen my backyard before, right? So we really don't have a backyard. That's why I grow mostly in the side yard. But we wanted a corner lot. Because the homes, they're a little bit more spread out here, but in most neighborhoods, they like this. Like literally, there's a home here, and you have just like maybe 4 feet. Maybe 4 feet in between houses. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous to me. It don't make no sense. You're just cramming homes in, and then they're cheap homes. They're not even and I think affordable doesn't mean cheap all the time. It doesn't. And then like that's another thing. What's your definition of affordable housing? Like that. The things I hear just irks me. Anyway. Vancouver area. Okay. No, people aren't buying them. No, because they can't. They can't afford them. They're supposed to be affordable housing, and they can't even afford them. It's crazy. And gentrification, don't get me started. Don't get me. I used to think, oh my gosh, if I hear that word one more time and people make an uproar, what's wrong with building new homes and businesses in the community? What's wrong with that? Gentrification is more than that. There's a reason behind everything. There's a reason behind everything. And that's the part that I can't. I can't. Thank you, sis. God bless you and your family and all the work you do. Thank you, VA. And it's a pleasure listening to you. Listen, VA, we're going to have a sing-off. I can't sing. Just a teensy. I can carry a note or two. But your videos would be killing me. I love it, though. Hey, neighbor, Seattle Hill. Hey, she said, hey, Melinda. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, I'm off of here. I love y'all. And I'll talk to y'all later. I know I will. Peace out.